Thanks, Ini, right there on Business on Sunrise Daily. But back to our conversation. We will be taking our conversation to the United States. And that's because there is some pushback on a lot of the things that the president is doing. And joining us for this conversation on pushbacks of the Trump presidency executive orders. We have joining us from Coventry, Mr. Jermaine Sonwolu, joining us right there. He's the head of Lagos State Office for Diaspora Affairs. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you very much.
All right, so yes, Jermaine Sonwolu joining us from Ibadan, and then joining us from Coventry, we have Mr. Ralph Obasoge, who's a public affairs analyst. Thank you so much for being with us on the program.
Very much. Good morning.
Okay, so let's begin with the two of those orders at least. You can tell us if there's more. I'm going to start off with Mr. Ralph Obasoge. At least two of those orders are the ones that really affect a lot of Nigerians. At least we've heard a lot of Nigerians talking about them, and that is the refugee status, the stopping of the acceptance of refugees, and the birthright citizenship bit. What kind of kickbacks do you think these orders will get from the courts and then from civil society and other people who may have issues with this one that affects a lot of people in Nigeria?
It's something that we have to be a bit pragmatic about. When it comes to the issue of the non-documented migrants, the rights for them to actually seek leave to stay back there is a bit far-fetched, okay? But the one that is a bit unsettling is the withdrawal of the birthright citizenship. And that is at the core of the American Constitution, and actually is the very essence of what America is, what makes America, because almost 3/4 of the population are all migrants or descendants of migrants. And when you look at citizenship ordinarily, without looking at legal implications, citizenship ordinarily, once you have legal status and you are born in the country, all right, most countries will grant you citizenship. So if I don't think, I beg to be corrected here, if, for instance, the Constitution is enshrined in the Constitution that you will be a citizen if you were born in the US, then they will need a constitutional amendment. And already a federal judge has already granted a temporary blockage of that executive order. And so it's going to be a struggle, but Trump is stubborn. Is going to most likely still push ahead. And at the end of the day, most of the federal judges were appointed by him. Most of the federal judges. So he may be able to then find sympathy in some of the judges. It's just for us to watch and see how it unfolds. A lot of, on all other orders, I will let my colleagues speak. There are about 7 or 8. He has about 22 orders already, but there are about 7 or 8 that has implications.
Let's get to talk to the head of Lagos State Office of Diaspora Affairs. I may have erroneously said kickback instead of pushbacks. That's what I meant to say. Mr. Jermaine Sonwolu, these orders and the impact it will have on the Nigerian people, especially with a lot of people looking at them and thinking, well, what is going to happen to the future for my children? You have the right to choose where you want to give birth to your children, where you want them to be citizens of. But with the stand that the President Trump administration has, are there fears that Nigerians who are exploring that option should be having right now, and are those fears founded?
Thank you very much for inviting me to your program this morning. I'm currently in Ibadan where I'm doing my research and diaspora and international studies at the Institute of African Affairs here. And a new era has come for geopolitics, America, and also the world as we know it now, with the emergence of President Donald Trump as the 47th President of the United States of America. And interesting times. We must understand it from different perspectives, from the perspective of foreign policy, the perspective of the American people, what they want and what they don't want, and also for the perspective of migrants, regular or irregular migrants who are going to that land of dreams, as they call it, America, and to understand that things have really changed. The views I share here are mine fully, don't represent that of the government of Nigeria or Lagos State. It's just my view, because I interact with a lot of diasporans, my personally being one, who have returned. And I know the major concern that people have is that what's going to happen moving forward. You said in your, as you introduced me just now, that people have the right to choose where the child will be born. But I also say that the country of residence also, or the country they are going to, also has a right to choose the criteria for which people can come into their country and claim citizenship. I know in Nigeria, to become a citizen of Nigeria, it takes a couple of years. Even the United Kingdom too, it takes a couple of years. America is one of the countries in the world, and people love it for that, whereby you can have your baby as you land in America, get a 6-month visa, in Nigeria, go there, travel and deliver your child, and they become automatic American citizens. And over time, they're able to enjoy the benefits. And of course, when they hear of such change in policy towards migrants, people are going to object towards it. But President Trump has a foreign policy that focuses on America first. Their national interest is all about America first. They are focused on delivering the promises that they gave to those who voted overwhelmingly from them. So I don't think you will blame him for doing that. So I really believe that many diasporans who are lost in America will begin to adjust. Those who are irregular will begin to make changes, because we have seen a crackdown on many irregular migrants, which ICE took a sweeping move few hours after President Trump was elected to actually remove a specific kind of category of people, which Trump wants to emphasize, saying that it is those who are criminal, those who are very, very offensive, who are a danger to national security, again, that they are taken out. So I'm sure if people hear this, they will know that it's not just about every random person that they will pick and they will take or they will report, but those who are really who are perpetrating crime, or who are known to be perpetrating crime in whatever country they are. So people who are doing wrong things should be cautiously aware of President Trump's new agenda for the American people. And I really believe when it comes to refugee status too, based on international law, people you are eligible to claim for refugee rights. If you have been persecuted in your home right, in your hometown, or asylum seeking, for whatever reason you may have, you could apply legally and you'll be granted that status. But what we were seeing in America was that people were just crossing the border, and they were entering and they were doing all manner of things to the American people, and also people are taking advantage of the immigration system under the Biden era. So I really want to see it from a balanced point of view that President Trump is just acting for what he believes is the best interest for those who voted for him.
Basoge, I want to come back to you on this. I mean, listening to Mr. Jermaine, it does seem like, I think in many ways it's time for us to start looking at how we can solve our problems ourselves. You have to start looking towards the leadership in your own country, because at least from what we're hearing from the American president, it's not just Nigeria. Most of these executive orders, if I was seeing the president of Mexico, a little worried about the designation of terrorist status for drug offenses, because that would mean that some kind of offensive can be carried out on them as a sovereign nation, and how it affects so many parts of the world. But when it comes to Nigeria and our peculiar situation of wanting to always leave the country in search of greener pastures, should there be some kind of change in the mindset of the Nigerian people? And what can our government do as it is right now to ensure that people, start to actually have more faith in our country, stay back here, get things working? And do they have the capacity to even give the better life that the Nigerians are asking for when they want to leave this place?
I think I can't agree less with Jermaine. He has put it in a very good context. Okay. Now, the issue is that I have not had the opportunity to analyze, I don't think it's been made public, the contents of the executive order on the withdrawal on birthright citizenship, because there are two strands. Okay. Like I told you, for those, because it does seem that it was a blanket executive order. For those who are citizens, I don't think that will apply to them. Those who are legally residents, okay? But the issue now comes, as surface Nigerians, we are talking of illegal migrants, those who are not documented. And like Jermaine said, every country has a right to determine what they will do to grant you citizenship or grant you rights. And because of the dislocated, because of the fact that the Nigerian society has not provided the very basic things that will make people live in this country. People are jackpying, like you know, all right? And we abuse everything. Let us do some self-introspection. You recall that Margaret Thatcher, in her time, withdrew this birthright citizenship from Nigeria, from all migrants, until you spend about 5 years in the UK. The Republic of Ireland was a haven for Nigerians. Anywhere the opportunity is, because of the lack of opportunities and the dehumanization back home, Nigerians go there in droves, and it becomes a problem. All right? So, talking about problems, I do not think the political class is willing to solve the problem the way I say it. I don't want to make political comments for now. It is just that for those who have been there, who have not been documented, they should begin. There were even warnings 4-5 months ago to say if you are undocumented, if you are there illegally, begin to take steps to get yourself documented and regularize your stay. At the end of the day, you cannot fault Trump because this is what Trump is doing, exactly what a majority of Americans want. You recall again, sometime when Obama was in his first tenure, people forget that Obama also actually ordered a lot of deportations. It's not a Republican thing, it's not a Trump thing. Trump may be very direct and crude in the way he does his things. So, Nigeria, what should we look forward to? Can our political leaders begin to create the conditions that will make Nigerians stay back in this country? That is the first thing. And is the political class going to do it immediately? No. But what we see. Then what will Nigerians do? Try and regularize your stay. We abuse everything. So people cannot just go. People want to give birth and they want citizenship for their children. They just go on a visitor visa, you give birth and come back and your child is an American. I think what Trump is saying is that had to stop. And going forward, people should then know that this is no longer a Tea Party the way it is.
Let me go to Mr. Jermaine and take this question to him, because you've talked about how migrants, particularly irregular migrants, need to regularize their stay and do the legal and proper thing. Do you think that we should extend services to them in this regard?
I totally agree with you, okay. Because this is an important fact that has to be addressed when it comes to irregular migration. I know some organizations in Nigeria are trying to address this issue because we have to educate ourselves. You know, I know the National Orientation Agency is doing the best they can to encourage people to stay and engage in meaningful endeavors here. It's important because, you see, people are leaving the country for reasons best known to them. But people are also returning to the country. Many of you must have seen what happened in the recent in December, dirty December, whereby a lot of people came to the Center of Excellence in Aquatics and the Lagos State. They found it a place for a home for entertainment, for fun. And that's because of many factors, but I'll point one or two. It's because the living conditions, the cost of living, even in America, is not so favorable to many of them right now. And many people, they are looking for places whereby they can have more value and feel more connected. And so it may be an opportunity for, even as America may seem the way it is right now, many Nigerians are going to start looking back. Those who are irregular are going to start thinking, okay, how can I...
Oh dear, looks like we have some technical issues there with Mr. Jermaine's connection. But let me quickly go to Mr. Obasoge. Okay, I think Jermaine is back now. I think it's back. Yeah. We lost you briefly. Let me just confirm this. Are you saying that, because you were making an analogy with dirty December and how cost of living has gone up, I'm wondering, are you saying that we should extend services to help migrants, especially those who have gone illegally, regularize their stay? Because some people will say part of what we have been doing with diaspora services is making sure that our citizens in diaspora are okay where they are. If they're in distress, we're able to bring them back home, etc. but do you think that our responsibilities extend towards giving them services to help regularize their stay in another land?
Yes, I totally agree with that point. We must extend services. I'm sure the Nigerian consulate in both Atlanta and also in Washington, they are doing all they can to be able to accommodate. So I'm looking at the Ministry of Interior and also the Nigerian Diaspora Commission to see how they can support the migrants who want to come back. And also from here too, we need to start educating people more about, before they leave, what they need to do. And they should also be reassured that it's not just going there and being pregnant and going to deliver, that things have changed. And there's even a situation that really occurs with many people migrants who go there for holiday. They would have a baby there, and for one reason or the other, maybe they enjoy some benefits or some discounts. They are now barred from coming back, even though they deliver their child there and the child gets citizenship. So there's a lot of things going on that the Trump administration is going to do to change how it is. The diaspora is a very, very important population for us here in Lagos, because we realize that they pay a crucial part, as I was mentioning about the dirty December and the impact they've had on the Lagos economy. We want to let them know that Lagos is welcome. Lagos is home for the diaspora, and they can come and benefit from the policies that we have put in place here to accommodate them. The return experience is not just about coming to have fun, but you can come and live in Lagos. It may sound funny, but it is an opportunity for us to be able to accommodate us and all accommodate the diaspora who are going to be returning, and those who may be there, they should be getting some understanding by the consulate. Another thing to notice now about these diaspora relations is that President Donald Trump has also dissolved the African Diaspora Engagement Council. They call it, we can give acronym ADEORD, which had people like Oguminike, the PSP and WNBA basketballer, who was part of that council in Nigeria. We had one or two Nigerians there too. And the importance of that is that he has changed its way towards diaspora engagement. Let's hope that he reinstates it with new vigor and new energy to engage the diaspora community, because Nigerian diaspora in America is not a diaspora that you just ignore. It is one of the most educated and the most strongest diaspora communities in America. A lot of doctors, a lot of tech entrepreneurs, a lot of chemical and mechanical engineers. They are the pride of the diaspora there. And we know that there are some people who do some funny things there too, but majority of us in the diaspora are doing great things. So apart from the few that may have challenges, we should look at the positive light, and let's hope that President Trump will be able to appreciate the Nigerian, the African diaspora as a whole, and begin to pass policies that will favor them. And also, if they're going to return, I know some countries like Germany, where if you voluntarily decide to return back to your country of origin, they give you some money, they help you settle down, and all those kind of things. So let's see if Donald Trump will give incentives for those who want to return, which I believe is a good idea. And also, he will take the diaspora community not as funny migrants, but as an asset to the American state.
We're totally out of time. We have to thank you so much for your contributions, Jermaine Sanwo-Olu, who is the head Lagos State Office of Diaspora Affairs. Thank you so much for your contribution. And we also have to thank you, Mr. Ralph Obasoge, who joined us all the way from Coventry via Zoom. Thank you so much for your contributions as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mo.
Well, we see your feedback. Olarewaju, also known as Maximus on X, and also Professor Nakena. We have to thank you for sending me your feedback and for being a part of our program this beautiful Friday morning. I know Kayla is singing, thank God it's Friday in her head somewhere. But thank you so much for watching. We wish you a very splendid weekend. Enjoy your Friday. I'm out, Yusuf. Have a great weekend ahead. I'm Kayla Magwa.